Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this Monday morning, Monday the 22nd of June. The players are back this week. It's an exciting time of the pre-season kind of stuff, isn't it? It's the transfer window. Nothing's happened of any significance as yet. The players this week. It's an exciting. A lot of rumours going around, and they're just that. Rumours, 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 rumours. It's all you're going to get this time of year until exciting. A lot of rumours until Celtic come out and tell us anything otherwise. Now, what Celtic have Celtic didn't let it slip. BBC Sport have said that the Celtic versus Middlesbrough game on Saturday the 18th. It's not been updated on the Celtic website as yet. I'll just refresh the page, but Celtic are that bad at trying to hide things. There is a page. There has been a page made up by Celtic already, and whoever's doing the website stuff at Celtic, when you copy a page, try and put it to set to private rather than set it to public straight away. You can do that on WordPress, you know. I know that it's WordPress that Celtic use. You can put it page to private, and then once it's all ready, you can put it public. And this was the copy of an Aberdeen versus Celtic web page. Tickets. It's for the tickets for Celtic versus Aberdeen. You can actually see. Let me just see if I can pull. You can see the tight. I can't. You can't see the title of it, but anyway, this is the page where Celtic are going to do Celtic versus Middlesbrough 2-match package guide. So that means Celtic are going to charge for all the fans, all the people that bought. It is amateur hour, isn't it, Johnny? It's crazy. It's great. I mean, Celtic are slipping up so many times when it comes to the website. But anyway, it is what it is. This will be the page. They will change the title of it. It's currently celticfc.com/tickets /Celtic -V Aberdeen -copy -3355. There was info on a page yesterday. I was thinking it was £35 for a 2-match ticket for a season ticket. That wouldn't surprise me. Celtic will charge for both of these games. That is for sure. On the wrong one. Anyway, my throat is still killing me from the weekend, having the excitement of going to a supporters club to watch a game for the first time in ages. When we look at the games that we do know that Celtic have, it's having the excitement of going to a support. It is the Celtic website has updated all the season games. We'll get on to transfer business in a minute. We will obviously the first game. It seems to me that Celtic are doing pre-season on a cheap this year, and they want, rather than spending money going on a 2-week pre-season summer camp, they're going to Ireland on the 7th of July. That'll be the first game of pre-season. We know that they're going to Portugal, to the Algarve, to play one game, and then that's on the 14th. So if they go from Ireland, it gives them 7 days in Portugal. That's on the Tuesday. It's looking like they're going to fly back on either the Wednesday or the Thursday, and then they've got that game on the 18th at Celtic Park. It's an interesting one because then they've got this game on the 25th. So that will be the 4 pre-seasons games fixtures done and dusted. Usually Celtic go on a bit of a tour, but it's all about saving money at Celtic this year, and they're coming out with the 2-match package for fans. is just showing you that Celtic are wanting to try and make as much as they can throughout pre-season. I was down at Middlesbrough for Tony Mowbray game. It was a bit of a shithole. Celtic doing something on the cheap bars. Can't be true. Yeah. I've said before the club's a joke from top to bottom. Morning, guys. Bit of a thunderstorm going on here in Oklahoma. 2:33 a.m. Weather alert on phone got me up just in time. There we go. But yeah, let's jump back onto that Celtic page. I wonder if it will still be there later on, or if they will just. They will obviously change the title of the page. But anyway, that is the Middlesbrough package page. Celtic versus Middlesbrough in a 2-match package guide. Straight off the press this morning. And they're just waiting on the finalisation of the text to be added to the page. Anyway, in other Celtic news, there was a lot of rumours going around yesterday that Celtic had made an offer for a defender. It transpires this morning that, late last night, it came out that there had been no offer made. So Celtic websites, again, jumping the gun. Celtic, fans getting excited that Celtic have put in a low bid and it's not met. There is no bid. Celtic do have a defender coming back that they will want to look at. Now, obviously, the deal didn't go through for that. Martin O'Neill will look at the fact that Rocky was a £4 million buy. And, shock horror. Oh, no. Celtic have updated the website. Oh, gee, come on, Celtic. Don't do that. This is getting embarrassing now, Celtic. I'm going to show you the website again. Excuse my throat this morning. Celtic have made an update. They've took Kasper Schmeichel. They've taken Kasper Schmeichel off the team. They still have Benjamin Arthur. They still have Marcelo Sarace. They still have Oxlade Chamberlain. I expect him to be given a new deal by Celtic. They still have Junior Adamu. They still have Tam the Czech. You can't make it up. So why just delete? What's Kasper done? Poor Kasper's been deleted. He's the only person to be deleted off the site. Got a feel for Kasper. Well, they've still got Stephen Welsh there, and they've still got Louis Palmer. And Hateo Inamura is back in Japan. He's been sold to Japan. Shin Yamada, it's been said that Shin Yamada will go back to Japan also. Johnny Kenny will be back at Celtic. Adam McGowan's there. So the players that will be back in training this week are still there. If Celtic were to take everybody off the team, you would be like, we're really short, aren't we? Really short in players. But it is what it is. Benjamin Arthur, he wasn't even a Celtic. He was only on loan. He played like 2 games, didn't he? But anyway, Kasper's the only player to disappear off of. May change at the end of the month. We'll wait and see. I don't know how a loan player would be on loan until the end of June, but it is what it is, isn't it? Other than that, there was a rumour about a young Irish player having signed for Celtic. There's no other, it's only came from the one site, so there's no other confirmation of that yet. But Alistair Johnston has, his agent has had contact from Fulham. Now, this is the way that it generally goes with Celtic. Do something similar. They get in touch with an agent and say, would your player be interested in coming to the club? And if the agent goes, yeah, I'll ask the player, I'll see if he's of interest. Would Alistair Johnston go to Fulham, or would Alistair Johnston stay at Celtic next season? I think Celtic are the bigger club. Celtic will be in the Champions League. Fulham won't. What is your thoughts on that? It's just all speculation, isn't it? It is that time of year where it's just player be interested. Speculation. It's an interesting one because if you went onto Twitter yesterday, Celtic had a bid rejected for a defender. But what I was hearing was there's been no offer. And it's came out late last night, there wasn't any offer. For the 22-year-olds, he has development potential and international recognition at youth level, this one report is saying. Jesus. Anyway, another player who has around about 8 days to sort out his Celtic future is the one and only Kelechi Iheanacho. Kelechi Iheanacho, Celtic do have the option of another year to offer the player as a contract, but Martin O'Neill is still suspect about the 29-year-old's fitness and whether he is pacey enough for a Celtic team. Got to remember that Celtic got him after he left Leicester and he went to Spain, and the club in Spain ripped up his contract to allow him to move to Celtic on a freebie. His contract ends at the end of June, so Celtic have until the end of the contract to offer him another contract. It's going to be an interesting one. They could have deleted the ghost over a year ago. Yeah, it is. Rocky isn't a dud. He should have been kept. Yeah, I think Lagerbielke. Was it Rocky or Lagerbielke that said he can't run? That it was Brendan Rodgers said that Lagerbielke couldn't run. Even though Lagerbielke did well for it. I'm not taking the word of anything Brendan Rodgers said. Brendan Rodgers has been shown to he'll always be remembered fondly by Celtic fans for what he achieved as his time as manager. But his man management skills, and his outlook at players, it's actually questionable when it comes to Celtic. Anyway, who cares about him? He is in the past. What do you think about Celtic going for a couple of Japanese players? I'm not too sure that we are, Jim, because we're sending players back to Japan. Don't know. I think that the Japanese market, I think that we've gotten the best out of it in our price range, and to bring in a player like Hateo Inamura, he gets a couple of games at Celtic. Celtic fans think he's better than Kieran Tierney. Celtic are obviously seeing what he's doing in training, and he's nowhere near Kieran Tierney's level. And he's sent out on loan, and then he's sold back to Japan. Now, if that's what Celtic are going to do, is take players, give them a bit European exposure, and then sell them back to Japan, that's fine. If it's true that they've bought the young guy from Cliftonville, that's what Celtic should be doing. The academy needs players. I would expect Celtic to make around about 3 or 4 signings this summer for academy players. And people will say, well, why are Celtic buying academy players? The academy's in such a mess that it's not going to produce any significant talent within the next year. And I'm talking about players that haven't been on the periphery for a couple of years. The players that have been in and around there, your Ben Summers and that, they should be ready to make up the step up. Ben Summers isn't even at the club anymore. People like that are still here. If they don't make the step up this year, they will be moved on. Celtic need to be bringing people through the academy that they can sell on for 1 or 2 million. And the thing is we're not even doing that, are we? Caspar the Ghost has been exorcised. Yes, he has that. They could have deleted the Ghost for over a year ago. I think it was Lagerbielke who said, yeah, it was Lagerbielke. Japan are the best team to watch for me. A couple of their better players I'd be delighted with. We'll wait and see. We'll still see more of Casper than Michael Nicholson next season. Yes, we will. Make Alistair Johnson captain, but won't be done. Hope not with Alistair Johnson. When he needs to say, says James. There was no offer, Baz. Yeah, I got a couple of messages yesterday saying that Celtic have rejected that. Celtic have had a bid rejected, and then I had a message saying there's been no offer. History shows Celtic won't qualify for the Champions League, says Chris, coming out of Australia, cheery as anything this morning. We'll see more of Lord Lucan than Nicholson next season, that is true. Pinch of salt with 99% of these rumours, even the ones about our players at the World Cup. I would think that the Alistair Johnston Fulham one, I would think that that one's coming from Fulham. So I would say there's a bit of meat on the bone with that one. And Fulham have been interested in him before, haven't they? But I don't think that Fulham would be the right move for Alistair Johnson. But that was a few days ago that they spoke about it. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see, as they say. Anyhow, let's jump into more of the comments this morning before we finish up. Big Kells did get us important goals. He did get us important goals, but you've got to remember that Martin O'Neill did speak about his fitness level last season. This is it's nothing new. Martin O'Neill being concerned about his fitness, and I don't mean his ability to last 90 minutes. I'm talking about his pace. It seems that Martin O'Neill's concerned that he doesn't have the pace for the type of striker. I mean, even Chris Sutton had a bit of pace. When you look, I've said it before, you look back to the very last goal of the season, the goal that won us the league. Kelechi Iheanacho got overtaken by James Forrest on a sprint from the Hearts half towards the goal. That's some doing by James Forrest. Taking on a man 5 years his youth or something, and getting past Kelechi Iheanacho. If Ox and Kells couldn't get fit last season, they won't be fit this time round, like Schmeichel. They look like they've had too much. Greggs, says Chris. I think that Oxlade-Chamberlain was fit. It was his match fitness that wasn't there because he hadn't played any football for over 6 months. Kelechi Iheanacho had been playing football before he came to Celtic. There's a kind of difference with the stamina to last 90 minutes, I suppose, but he was still training week in, week out. I think that's one reason that I think Oxlade, out of all the players from last season, I mean, Celtic have already knocked back Tam the Czech. I don't know why they'll take him off at the end of this week. Pre-season, you'll see all these players. You've still got Michelangelo Balak-Wisha at the club. Junior Adamu, he's signed for another club already. Kelechi Iheanacho, Callum Osmond, Sebastian Tenecte. See, Sebastian Tenecte played as a lone striker, scored no goals. Joe Mavuka. Some strange going-ons at Celtic. There's one thing for sure, when they do clean up the team page on the Celtic website at the end of this month, you're going to have the stark reality of how small the squad is. And Cameron Carter-Vickers will be and Dane Murray will be the only. Oh no, Liam Scales isn't at the World Cup, is he? So there we go. We've got quite a formidable back line, as they say. So that was Chris. The fact Rodgers didn't respond to Desmond's scathing comments suggest he was guilty as charged. Yes, I think so. Baz, the first team, is a shit show too. Yes, it is that. We have to stop comparing players with KT. He's not the player he was when he left. But he is the best left back that we have at the club. If that is the standard that we're up against, you're then looking at bringing in a player that has to be better than Kieran Tierney. You're having to bring in a player that's better than Alistair Johnson. You have to bring in a player that's better than Cameron Carter-Vickers. Bring in a player that's better than Austin Trusty. That is, people compare it to the player that is in the position and holding the shirt at the moment, and that's all you can do as fans. I take Nakamura, lad. Big bucks now, man. No chance. Casper needs exercise, not exorcism. Rocky and Lager morphed into one player. just like three January loans. Sriracha deals are no brainer. I think that the Sriracha one will be the first official first team player that will be announced by Celtic. But we will wait and see. We've got Martin O'Neill. Yeah, we do have Martin O'Neill, but it's not going to be an easy season. Don't know why they just don't give the purse strings to Martin O'Neill. Then we are guaranteed to get the players that we go for instead of the board lowballing offers, and we miss out. Martin O'Neill would pay the fee. I think that the fact that I would actually rather that you had Martin O'Neill doing the transfer negotiation rather than Michael Nicholson. At least you would just get Martin phoning up Dermot and going, right, this is the deal. Just sign the cheque off. Simple. Big Sutton had some stride. Yes, he did that. Big Bad John was quicker than Kells. Exactly. And the fact that Kelechi and the actual isn't up there, that's the stand. You've got to remember that Martin O'Neill had all these fast, pacey players at Celtic, at his time at Celtic. He's not going to settle for a player that's at around about 80% of that. He's not going to go and pay, 25, 30 grand a week for Kelechi Iheanacho that's not up to the pace. So I think that we trust Martin O'Neill with that one. And I don't think that Kelechi Iheanacho is going to be a Celtic player. We'll wait and see. Have Celtic announced Fozzie Maloney yet? No, but they have accidentally published a page that should have been kept as private on the Celtic website, which is easy to do. Anybody that knows anything about websites is you just go in and you put private, click on private on it. But Celtic versus Middlesbrough, and just to show that it is this current Celtic, the 60th anniversary, Middlesbrough, 150 years. Celtic versus Middlesbrough 2-match package guide. This will be for the Middlesbrough game and the game against the Italians. There's nothing on the page as yet because someone at Celtic put it public after copying the tickets Celtic versus Aberdeen page, deleting all the information from that and leaving it public. Schoolboy error stuff from Celtic, I've got to say. Don't know, I've built websites since 2010 that have ranked first page on Google and for my businesses over the years and other stuff. And that's a schoolboy error stuff from Celtic. I'm not going to lie. Complete schoolboy error. Anyway, Sutty was class. That goal versus Juve 4-3. So unlucky not to get the draw. Tell me about it. That was a long time ago. Baz AJ is too good for Fulham. Plus won't pay 20 million for him. Says James. John says Kelechi doesn't need pace. Just look at his goals he scored for us. Best return for minutes played. Says John Donnelly. Once again, John, there is no love lost when it comes to Martin O'Neill. If Martin O'Neill does offer him a contract, it will be because he's worked his ass off during the summer. We've seen Kelechi Iheanacho at the beginning of the summer at a specialist fitness coach. It would be interesting to see if he took time off or if he kept up this fitness regime to prove to Martin O'Neill that he is fit. I think Martin O'Neill will take one training session with Kelechi Iheanacho and Martin O'Neill will decide. And if Martin O'Neill decides that I need someone faster, I'll go with Martin O'Neill with it. We can all have our opinions on whether or not you think that Iheanacho should be at Celtic next year. But like I said, it comes down to the fact that Martin O'Neill wasn't convinced that I'll just check this out. There's a just why is this linked to Celtic? It looks like there's an Italian club have made contact with Kieran Bowie. So there's an Italian club, Calgary, have made contact with Kieran Bowie amid the interest with Celtic, and it was only interest. And I think that the interest just comes from the last transfer window, to be honest, where Celtic didn't make an offer. The website says that Rocky's contract ends on his loan deal on the 30th of June, so that's when they will change it. So then Rocky will go back into the first team, and Martin O'Neill will want to have a look at Rocky when he comes back into the first team. I blame these rumours about players coming and going mainly on the Celtic board, as their silence and the way they communicate with fans is horrendous, says Alan. Is it the fact that, I mean, Celtic will be talking to agents, potentially talking to clubs behind closed doors? Celtic don't. You don't want to be coming out. Now, this isn't a big up the boards thing. As a business, you don't want to come out and tell the public, it's not the Answer the Public website. You're going to answer the public and are Celtic interested in anyone? And you get about 40. And that's what it's like online. Celtic transfer rumours, which you end up with about 30,000 posts, everybody claiming exclusives. And the fact is the only way that you're going to get an exclusive is if the agent tells you that Celtic are in talks with the players and it's down the line, or a agent may be trying to get more for his player, so he lets it known that Celtic were interested. Yeah, they might have spoke to you 6 months ago, But I think that we wait until Celtic will start getting into business this week, and if it's not this week, it'll be the first week back in training. That's my prediction, and I think that the first one will be Sriracha. But you're right. The board are horrendous at communicating with fans. It's not just communicating with fans. It's putting out web pages that should be made private. Seems to be incompetence in various departments within Celtic. This summer. KT's still a good player. I don't get the criticism, says Patrick. Yep. Either do I. He's at the World Cup. He's went his first full season in a long time where he hasn't been out for a significant amount of time, months, injured. He managed a full season at Celtic. He was fit enough to go to the World Cup. He's participating in the World Cup, the biggest stage on the planet. But some Celtic fans just think that he's pissed and he's made of chocolate, as they say. Good morning from Burnt Island. I'd bin Ox and re-sign Kalechi. He's a great impact player. AG won't be around for long, says Mikey Boy. We'll be off to a better league soon. Are you going with him, Mikey Boy? Same old Celtic, wait until the last days of the transfer window and then go crazy on free transfers. Nah, we can't wait that long because we're going to have to get players in that will get us. I think that if Celtic have learned anything from last season, the inability to get players in before the Champions League playoff game. Celtic thought they could cruise against Carrot Almighty, the almighty Carrot that we played 200 miles away from China. Yet we've seen the almighty Carrot beat the team that Celtic demolished in the Champions League. Celtic need to be really prepared. And, the manager needs to be more forceful. I think that the management in Celtic last summer, there was obviously we'll get the deals done when we're ready from the hierarchy. And Brendan Rodgers is saying, no, we need it now. But the team you've got should. And I think that the board are looking at Brendan Rodgers and looking at this squad of players and go, this should be a good enough squad to dismantle the mighty Carrot from Kazakhstan. But it wasn't. Gavboy says the lack of signings have us judging players on last season's squad. Pity they aren't discussing how they'd fit into a fresh Celtic. Kelechi's clever though, if seeking a goal where we're camping in the opposition half. He's an asset. I think that Martin O'Neill, I don't think Martin O'Neill really likes this low block, slow impact football. You know, Martin O'Neill said it. He said Martin O'Neill when he came back to Celtic as the second time. He said, "Look, football isn't." Although I agree to disagree with some of the tactics that Sean Maloney and Fossey wanted to play, football's not hard, and it's not changed over 25 years. The main aim of a football team is get the ball out from defence, bit of pace, run forward, score a goal. Simple. This retaining possession, and passing side to side. Brendan Rodgers was even questioned by Martin O'Neill about the changing the point of attack. I don't think that Kelechi Iheanacho would suit a fast. Here's the question. The question should be, would Kelechi Iheanacho get into Ange Postecoglou's team? That should be the question, not about should we keep him for Martin O'Neill. It's would Kelechi Iheanacho get into an Ange Postecoglou's team? And I'm going to say no. No, he wouldn't. I think that we sold a player that's far better than Kelechi Iheanacho. Way better and a bit faster. But I can get where you're coming from. It's an easy option. It's a cheap option. But we'll just wait and see what happens. Imagine if we get Inter and Sporting. That would be fitting in the Champions League, yeah. Kelechi Iheanacho, Sriracha needs signed. Also, I would sign Julian Rocco if Alistair Johnston goes. Likely. We need to sign Julian Rocco. Wee man gets the club and the fans. He's one player that I'd love at the club. You need players that will fight. He's like a young KT. Just he would fight 100. I think KT's mellowed in his older age. Iheanacho is a great finisher, but not mobile enough to get 20 plus goals a season. Having pace is good, but putting the ball in the net is more important. And I think that's why Martin O'Neill will go for a completely different striker. Don't particularly want an unfit, slow striker at Celtic, but Iheanacho has the confidence and ability to score when needed. Could be an ideal impact sub this season. There's a lot of players. Martin O'Neill wants to bring in two strikers. That we all know. When you look at the strikers that we do have, the only official striker that we have that is on a permanent contract we have two, sorry. We have Callum Osmond. And Johnny Kenny. Now, those are two young guys that Johnny Kenny should be stepping up to the mark and should be putting goals in the back of the net. He was given his chance last season. Nope. Callum Osmond, he's a fantastic prospect. And I think that he's a player that Martin O'Neill will love to have in the team as a second or third choice striker. Kelechi Iheanacho, if he stays on at the club, he's going to be pushing either Callum Osmond or Johnny Kenny down the pecking order. We bring in a number one striker, and under a Martin O'Neill team, it really depends on the money that Kelechi Iheanacho's wanting. Because I don't think that Celtic would be prepared to pay 35 plus grand a week for Kelechi Iheanacho to kind of be a bit part player. Especially when you've got Callum Osmond and Johnny Kenny still on the books. And Johnny Kenny, Martin O'Neill kind of likes Johnny Kenny as a player. We've got wingers to bring in. I wouldn't be first over Kieran Bowie anyhow. That's true as well, doesn't it? I've got feeling Balak Wisha will come good. I've not seen it. I have no idea. He's another one that's been training, isn't he, during the summer? A rebuild and no players in for 7 days. Kelechi, a dressing room asset. and won't be looking to move. Get a few goals, I think. But if Martin O'Neill doesn't want him, that is it. Kelechi has the best ball control to hold up play in the team. It should be a no-brainer to extend his contract. Everyone's a football coach, aren't they? At least it's all just comments, I know. Now, this is probably the most important message of the summer. Neglect, boycotting, protests. The board owe Martin O'Neill the support. Baz, I want this next Celtic team full of pace and power, so it's up to the club to pay the money and just do it. Of course we do. And I think that Martin O'Neill wants players with pace and power. Rules out Kelechi Iheanacho. He's got power, but he doesn't have pace. Don't know. We're going to have to look at wingers. Remember, we don't have Jota, so Celtic are going to have to look at a couple of wingers. The Balak Wisher question: Sebastian Tenetti, is he the answer? If we lose Daizen Maeda, he's one of the best assets that we have on the wing. It's going to be really. It is. And what is about the current transfer window? Sean Maloney, Fozzie, Martin O'Neill didn't exactly bring in quality in the winter window. Don't like to say you're right, but you're right. The board don't give a damn about football, just the bank balance, hence the reason that they're going to ask Celtic fans to pay out more with their two-match package guide that will drop at some point this week. Once somebody's going to get their balls kicked for this. You put the page live. Why have you got the page live? That fucking shit. One Celtic fan's views me the right arse he is again. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see when that page does update on the Celtic website. And just to show that it isn't a fake site, and click on to Teams. Once it updates, there we go. There's the Teams. And then we'll go back onto that page because it's like this was definitely a Celtic board member that put out this page. In fact, it might be Nicholson. Maybe Michael Nicholson's in control of the website now. New statement from Celtic. New statement from Celtic FC. Michael, it doesn't say anything. That's the point. Don't you get it? It's irony. Somebody needs to do a piss take at Michael Nicholson. I think it'd be fantastic. You just sit there in mute mode. Right, anyway, that has been done and dusted for this morning. A couple of more player. Araujo should be signed, no matter if Alistair Johnson goes or not. Every club we deal with will know how much of a shambles we are in, and will hold out for a far lot more than their players are actually true value. I don't think so. It's always the case that Celtic low ball, isn't it? So I wouldn't. So it wouldn't be just him as the only striker. We need a couple. And he actually was our 20 minutes wonder kid for goals. Lol. But as if you watch most of the World Cup games, it's all about attack and not this keep possession crap. It is. It is that. Is Johnny Kenny coming back from his loan spell? Yes, Johnny Kenny will be back at Celtic on Friday. How much would Obi, if we were to pursue that option? 30 odd million, O's worth now. Osmond is going to shine if he stays fit. He will. That was a horrific injury he got. And there is no doubt in my mind that young Callum Osmond will stay fit in the next season. You're good enough if you're old enough. That definitely shows that. Kelechi's got a challenge. It led to the third goal versus Hearts. It was the header from Callum McGregor that kind of set up the third goal. I believe Callum Osmond will be our number one striker, so we already have a number one at Celtic. Is he good enough to be number one striker in the Champions League? That's the big question. Baz, that page for the two-match packet was live yesterday and had info on it. Well, there you go. The Celtic facebook.com/tickets/Celtic-v-Aberdeen-copy-3355. Anyway. Yes, mate. Contact me on the Facebook page. Right, there's one. There is one true word on that website. A club like no other for pissing about. Yeah, it's true, isn't it? Right, that's me done and dusted for this morning. Going to jump over to Facebook, see what's going on, because I've been on to Twitter this morning, and that's just Twitter's just crazy. It's crazy. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are all around the world.